Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to a quick live short session. I think it is day 85, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is day 85 of our tip of the day. I'm kind of like resuming the tip of the day. Excuse me. Especially because it seemed like we had quite a few different posts. I'm gonna talk about. So I posted this a few days back. Similarly, if you're one of the many people who have an issue with their parents, if you still harbor resentment about something they did or did not do, then you still believe that they had a choice, that they could have acted differently. It always looks as if people had a choice, but that is an illusion. This is Eckhart in The Power of Now. As long as your mind with its conditioned patterns runs your life, as long as you are your mind, what choice do you have? None. You're not even there. The mind identified state is severely dysfunctional. It is a form of insanity. Almost everyone is suffering from this illness in varying degrees. The moment you realize this, there can be no more resentment. How can you resent someone's illness? The only appropriate response is compassion. So a lot of people responded about their parent or maybe a relative that they were having an issue with regarding not being able to have this compassion, right? So the first thing I would say is read the passage very when we post something, read it and kind of imbue it into your being at this level of your spirit, like let it soak in. So read his statement where he said, um, you think that you still believe that they had a choice, that they could have acted differently. So this is regarding your parents. One of the things that I came across, I was listening to Teal Swan on one of the podcasts on YouTube, and she was talking about that if we are a generation, like if you are on the spiritual path, you are listening to Eckhart's teachings right now. So, because you're on a spiritual path, what you are doing, like the responsibility upon yourself is there is ancestral trauma, like generations, great grandfathers, great grandfathers, grandmothers on your father's side, as well as your mother's side. So, exactly this statement of what Eckhart is saying, that your father, your mother, your grandfather, your grandmother, your aunts, your uncles, all of them did not have a choice because they were just, just like a robot. They were just acting out their conditioned patterns. The more we know this at the level of presence, not at the level of the mind, because the mind wants to be resentful. The thinking mind wants to use hurt, use the victim identity, and to keep strengthening itself. So our job here on earth is to make sure that we actually, that is the lesson, is to allow the ego to make it lose its grip on us. We've been under this influence of the ego for thousands of years. So shake it, make it. When Eckhart says don't hold resentments, that means don't hold resentments. It's like bottom line. If not, we are strengthening our ego. The more we strengthen our ego, the more we are in our thinking mind. And then we are in opposition, we are in resistance mode, and we are in the opposition of the flow of life, in the opposition of how planetary intelligence wants to flow. Hopefully people are understanding that. So you can oppose it, you can say, I don't want to be, I think I'm compassionate towards my mother, I'm compassionate towards my father, but then you're holding a resentment. So are you compassionate or are you holding resentment? So I want y'all to feel it in your body. How does that feel like? Does it keep you in peace in the body? Is your body in harmony? How does hurt feel like? How does being angry or being resentful feel like towards your parents? So what Teal Swan said in that conversation that she was having, I think on her father's side, I cannot remember on her father's side, but on her mother's side, there was a lot of abuse, ancestral abuse. So she was very suicidal. So she had to keep working. So this is the realize that yes, our parents may have been unconscious. Yes, they acted out a certain way, but even we did that until we became spiritual. Even we acted unconsciously. We acted out the same conditioned patterns of our past, of our ancestors, of our family. I'm hoping everybody can kind of like use our unconscious self and equate it to what our parents did, our mothers and fathers did. And that is what exactly Eckhart is saying in this passage, that nobody can act beyond their level of consciousness. Your parents could not have acted any differently. They were in possession of their mind. And as long as they were in possession of their mind, then they couldn't have done anything differently. So just forgive them, let it go. Forgive them, for they know not what they do, as Jesus said, right? Forgive them, and in that forgiveness, you will find so much freedom. No longer will you be in the grip of the ego. So that was the part that I wanted to. I had responded on the thread that about this ancestral trauma, that all of you that are saying that, yes, I agree that our parents were not conscious, especially if you're somebody that is 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old. That generation of 70, 80, 90-year-old human beings was unconscious. But just look, this is what Teal Swan was saying, look at what they went through. They went through a war. They went through World War One. They went through World War Two. They went through the Vietnam War. Look at how much unconsciousness existed on the planet. So they just acted out those conditioned patterns. Yes, so now we know we need to do something different. So that's my tip for today, that think of all the, you may say, I have compassion for my ex-husband, I have compassion for but is that compassion truly compassion? And if you do have compassion that arises out of presence, then you will realize that your ex-husband or your children that are troublesome, or teenagers that are troublesome, or if it is a parent that is troublesome, then they could not be any different. Neither could I. Even I remember when I was unconscious until year 2009, 2010, or maybe my search started around 2005, but mostly the huge leaps in awakening happened around 2009 to 2010. So I wanted to kind of like, whoever is watching this video, please be informed about ancestral trauma, that your parents could not have done anything different than what they did. Exactly what Eckhart is saying here. The day that you realize the truth of that statement, you are going to be free. And I would say set yourself free through forgiveness. There's a meditation that we run during group meditation where Carolyn Mays talks about give them a basket of roses, like give them a basket of roses, and you hold a basket of roses, I'm paraphrasing here, and tell them, like, you meet them at the spirit level when you fall asleep, and both of us need to work on forgiveness. So I would say get a basket of roses and work through forgiveness, because it is pure and pristine freedom, like totally free from this resentment that everybody has towards their parents. And that is exactly what Eckhart is trying to drive through this statement. So do remember ancestral trauma, that you don't know what they have gone through. And if you look into the story of what this person has gone through, you will realize that why are they acting the way that they are acting. With that, I'll end this session. I'll come back tomorrow or the day after, and we'll have another session. Thank you so much. Much love, many blessings. Grateful for the support. Thank you. Bye.